The football on the telecommunications tower in the South African capital Pretoria. The stadiums are ready. The country is prepared for soccer's World Cup. They're calmly awaiting the best players from around the world. Away from the cities, in the slums, in the black residential areas, the townships, there is a mood of change in the air. Here too, football is a source of hope. This team trains 3 times a week in the Winterveld township. All of the boys live in this township. They play in a league, Pretoria's Street Football League.
My team, Lotus FC, right now is occupying the first spot on the log, so we are number 1. And then the coming Sunday, we are playing against our number 2, like the team that is number 2. Now the challenge is that we are separated by just 3 points. So if they lose, then we are equal on points. Then if they have more goals than us, then it means they will win the league. And we are fighting for promotion to the Castle League.
Mabu Maholo is a trained teacher and has known his players for years. Now he is the coach and is working for a big project, youth development through football. Since 2006, German funds have helped build a network of street football projects in South Africa.
Township communities are footballing communities. So the language that they speak on the street is football. You walk the street, you find children playing soccer. So which means they can identify themselves with the positive role models from the professional soccer scene. And because of that, we believe that by using soccer as a vehicle to transform their lives, to transform their family situations, then it allows them to positively identify themselves as part of the soccer fraternity at a higher level. And therefore it gives them hope that one day they will also be able to rise out of their situation and be able to triumph against all odds.
The townships around Pretoria alone are home to more than 2 million people, all of them blacks. Even 20 years after the end of apartheid, most of them are still amongst the poorest members of society. Unemployment stands at 50%. AIDS and violence are part of daily life, as are alcohol and harder drugs. The children are often left to their own devices. Many are orphans. How could football possibly change lives? He too is one of the coaches of youth development through football. Richard Cupido is volunteering in this youth project in his church congregation, where he also does the work of the sacristan.
My father was a gang-related guy when he was living in Cape Town. So he got involved in a gang fight in Cape Town, and as he was in the fight, the guy stabbed him, and that's how he passed away. He passed away in the hospital. I can face similar situations to what the kids is facing within our community, because we have a lot of kids that doesn't have parents within our community, and I grew up without my parents as well. And also through the church, all the things that I've learned through the church, how to work with young people, how to love the community as well. Through that, I've developed just a love for young people, just to help them and assist them, yeah.
All of the children are allowed to participate in the meetings of the street footballers. Nobody is excluded. That's one of the principles. Richard Cupido is unemployed. His work for this project is voluntary. He gets paid only pocket money. There are now dozens of coaches like him. Every day Richard has 1 or 2 coaching appointments, and often literally on the streets, just like here, because even improvised pitches are in short supply. Every few months there is a training workshop for the coaches. The project has its headquarters in the administrative centre in Hatfield, Pretoria. The money comes from Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is responsible for development aid. The German state-owned Technical Cooperation Society, or GTZ, manages the project in South Africa. 13 million euros are available until 2013. One of the most important partners is Gert Potgieter, a former track and field athlete, Olympic contestant and sporting idol. With his team, the GTZ has already managed to reach around 16,000 young people in South Africa.
The YDF stands for Youth Development Through Football. So the football here is being utilized as an instrument or as a tool to reach our goals. And our goals, of course, is based on problem areas like health, wellness, HIV, AIDS, the environment, pollution and litter, and also morality building as a result of all the corruption and cheating and things like that going on.
Gert Potgieter is out in the townships almost every afternoon, visiting training groups. It is particularly important to him that boys and girls do sports together. That's something he keeps pointing out to the young coaches.
Great.
The most important thing is to enjoy the game. From time to time, the rules are adjusted using simple means, rules that don't just hold true on the pitch. The coaches, many of them only a few years older than the players and from their neighbourhoods, are looked up to and listened to by the players.
Yeah. Whenever we play, the game is not all about win, but it's all about enjoyment. So you must accept the win or lose, and win with pride, lose with pride. So that at the end of the day, we're all going to have the same spirit of friendship to accept one another as we are, right?
Fair play doesn't involve cheating, and when you tackle someone, he beat on the floor, you must raise him and say sorry, is what I understand about fair play.
Let's give him a key, no?
The aim is not to turn these young people into professional footballers, but if it happens, that's okay too.
The most important values they must learn is to become leaders, and to become a leader, they must set an example of fair play, respect to each other, because the townships are dangerous. They get raped, and there are many people trying to sell drugs to them and alcohol, so they must always be very careful.
It is here in the middle of this township that Mabu Maholo lives. The coach lives in the same circumstances as the children and young people he coaches. There's no running water. It has to be brought here. Mabu gets paid by the GTZ football project, but all he can afford is the rent for one room in a slum.
In this place, I'm staying alone. My wife and daughter of 2 years, 7 months are staying with my in-laws, with my wife's mother, because the space is too small to really accommodate a child in here.
Mabu keeps telling the children in the ghetto how important it is to learn something and not play truant.
I decided I'm going to try and give them an alternative route, because I came from the same background, so I knew that if they completed grade 12 with their family background as it is, then they will not be able to further their studies. So
Mabu is a trained teacher, but wanted to do more than just teach at the blackboard every day.
we're using theatre, performing arts, to develop their potential as leaders, to educate them, life skills-wise. And then we are helping the captains to reach out to their teams, who in turn have to reach out to their school. Then they have to reach out to their families. And then in that way, they are reaching out to the community at large. So we are impacting on the community through the children who are doing sports.
After the regular school classes, football coaches like Mabu come to the schools. The tables are cleared away and then balls are brought out to practice concentration, motor skills and coordination.
You are focusing on something.
Afterwards, the children talk about their experiences in the township. Mabu stops being a coach and starts being a social worker.
Good or bad things? Okay, bad so repeat a crime, ne? So now crime. Let's see me, bro. What are you doing? They kill each other.
Words like AIDS, killing, stabbing, abuse and stealing are mentioned a lot. They're all part of the children's everyday lives. Words like love and respect are hardly mentioned.
By so doing, we are really giving them a challenge of identifying what they don't need to be involved in, what the challenges are that they are going to be facing, but we're also giving them possible escape routes for them to know that we are escaping from this and then our safe haven is on the side.
The school is such a haven for the children. Even just a glass of juice is an important symbol for the children, who often have to go long periods without food or drink. The rule of the strong is implemented all over the townships. Violence is normal. The football workshops give them different ideas, says the principal, Joe Vuma.
It's cooperation, you know. Football, it's a sport that it's a team sport. You know, people need to know that in life you do things cooperating with one another, you know. You cannot just be yourself in life. That's one other value that we need to teach our children. And secondly, it's the value of, we call it here in South Africa, Ubuntu, you know. Ubuntu, meaning that we accept one another as people.
Once a week, there is a special treat in store for coach Richard Cupido and his team. Then they are allowed onto the school's prized possession, the rugby pitch. The well-tended grass feels like a soft carpet. Moniz has been playing for a while. In the past, football was only for boys, but here boys and girls are learning to help each other.
If you have problems with your homework, né? As je problemen hebt met je huiswerk, dan moet je naar je vriend toe gaan en je zegt, kijk, Chomi, kom ik en jij help gewoon elkaar. Let's help each other with this homework. We're in the same class, so it's a good thing. When we're going to work together, we will be able to understand it better, né? Right. The other thing is that you must love your friend. Het is belangrijk dat je je vriend moet liefhebben. Hoekom? Because in a friendship, what is the most important thing?
The most important thing is that he always cares for the children, and that's all.
And what did he do for you, especially? What did you learn from him?
I did learn how to respect people and the teachers in our school.
I practiced that I have to always obey the rules. I always have to obey what he says, and that he will always be on our side.
Are you ready? All right, first person, jump on. All right. Okay, not yet. All right. What I was trying to do today is just for them just to get a loving relationship amongst them when we were doing these various games like team building games that we did and these fun games, so that they can interact with other kids as well, so that they can see wherever they go that there's loving relationship amongst them as friends, yeah. 1, 2, 3, go! That side, go to that side, that side.
After the training session in the school, Mabu spends some time in the township. He has managed to buy a car from his wages. That makes his job easier. He regularly visits the children and young people at home to find out how they live. And he prefers to meet the parents too. All he knows about Josie is that her mother works 12 hours a day as a domestic help. The girl said a stepfather lives in the hut with them.
Knock. Okay. It was a bit difficult because it was you, your sister, your mother, and then your stepdad, all using the same space. Now it's a bit easier because your sister has moved out, she's staying somewhere else, and then you are using, this room?
Yes.
So this is your room, then there is your parents' room then.
Yes.
Then you're using the RDP, even though it's still in construction, it hasn't been completed yet.
A bit embarrassed, Josie shows her coach her room. It's boiling hot under the corrugated iron at this time in the afternoon. But at night, Josie says, it gets freezing cold. The football project is a ray of hope for her.
Yes. What does it mean to you to take part in this lessons there?
It takes great honor for me because it helps me not to do what is going around here, and then it takes my mind off things.
What is difficult in the surroundings for you as a young lady?
Teenagers, ladies like me, when they start to grow up, when they become teenagers, they only think about boys and the taxi drivers around here. So that's what they think about, and I don't want to think about that.
And are you anxious to live in this region here?
It's great here, but not that good. With the taxi drivers going around, chasing after girls. And they only want young girls like us.
So it is a tough situation for you. But you are strong enough to withstand?
Yes.
How do you do it?
I just go to the workshops, attend classes, and then I take motivation from my mother. I do listen to my mother.
Josie's older sister seems to have heard about the visit. She was at a friend's place in the neighborhood.
Will you be able to tell us what happened with your dad? Is he still alive? Is he...
Her father was run over by a car 8 years ago.
Okay.
And then he was involved in a car accident.
Okay.
Then
but, okay, did anyone then help you to claim for that, like the road accident fund thing?
To this day, the family haven't got a penny from the insurance company, Josie's sister says. Mabu hears dramatic stories like this a lot. He can't change much.
If they can give out the story to tell this is what I'm suffering from, this is my stresses, this is my situation, then it allows them to really express it, and then by so doing, then they're a bit relieved of it. And then by being involved in theater and soccer and other activities, then they can at least have hope that one day we'll also be able to live a better life. Hence, they can afford to smile at least once in a while.
Josie quickly makes her way back to school. She doesn't want to miss a single theatre workshop. Her story is not the exception in the townships. Many children come from tragic family circumstances. Many families fall apart because of AIDS, drugs and violence. This is why Mabu Maholo tries to be a pillar of reliability for the children. Despite all the stress, he absolutely sticks to the training times of his youth team. The players already have to cope with enough disappointments. Mabu met many of the boys in his team in workshops. The program has been running for almost 4 years, and now they could become the champions.
I'm really very positive about my team. I'm proud of them. I'm really confident that they will win. We lost last weekend, 3-2, but everybody was thinking that the referee was a bit biased. But it's always like that with soccer matches. So we're going out for a win now.
After the training session, a small group of footballers stay together in the middle of the township, counting money and writing receipts. They're deliberately doing this in public so everyone can see. They formed a kind of savings club a year ago. It was Mabu's idea.
We gathered around as young people of Winterveld to try and teach each other to save money and then use it for a good purpose at the end of the year.
The aim is to try and get everyone to save at least €20 a month. That's a lot because it's very difficult to find work here, but there have already been success stories in the first year.
I bought my mother a present, and then some of my money I bought the tombstone for my father.
The money for last year, actually, I'm trying to build my home because I bought some windows and trying to build a home.
Today we sit and discuss also what each of our members did with their money in the last year, so that if you didn't put it to good use, then you can be able to see that others used it for something nice in their life, something that is going to improve their life, so that you learn from that.
Savings clubs are just one of the surprising projects Mabu is starting in the townships. In addition, he has already written a play and wants to have it performed on stage. The ambiguous title, Own Goals. What started with football is becoming a wider issue. Now it's Sunday, the day the football championship will be decided. Like every Sunday morning, Mabu goes to church. This is where he worships. The corrugated iron hut belongs to a small Lutheran congregation founded by Pastor Samson 15 years ago. That too is typical of townships. Churches like this can be found everywhere, be they Baptists, Adventists or Pentecostal churches. Those who feel the calling simply found a congregation. Mabu likes to spend his Sunday mornings here. The service lasts 3 hours at least. Mabu tried different churches in the neighborhood, he says, but Pastor Samson's is his favorite.
I am a Christian and I believe in spiritual nourishment, so that is the reason why I attend church. It's also very important for me to really get advice from other people, to also get advice from the priest, to listen to somebody instead of me always being standing in front of children. So I need nourishment also myself.
On Sunday afternoon, we meet Moniece in her parents' house. She's very excited because Richard has got 2 free tickets for a Premier League team, Supersport United, and she's allowed to go to the stadium with him. Occasionally, the young coaches of the Youth Development Through Football project get tickets for the top games of the professional league. With their tickets, Moniece and Richard are allowed into the VIP area close to the stars.
It's very exciting and it's very good to be part of something like this here. And it's definitely a wonderful experience. I've never seen the players coming in like this before.
Supersport United are at the top of the South African Professional League table. Even so, the stadium, which has seats for more than 35,000 spectators, is largely empty. Only the really hardcore fans fork out for a ticket, which costs €2.50, a day's wages for many. And that for 90 minutes of football? Everything is going as expected. After a goal in the first half, the clear favourite Supersport wins the match 2-0.
It's very exciting. It's my first time actually at a real match like this here, and the atmosphere is very good. I'm really enjoying it.
What do you like most?
The soccer players.
The game?
And I like the team.
It has been a day to remember for Moniece and Richard. They got a taster of top-quality football. At about the same time, at the other end of Pretoria, in the dressing room of Loftus FC, Mabu Maholo's street football team. Even if they become champions, there's no trophy. They're just playing for fun.
Definitely, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I wish the game just started, and then I think I'll cool down it.
Suddenly, everyone goes quiet. Mabu's team pray together. The match takes a different course from the Premier League game. Mabu's team, which started out as the favourite, goes down 1-0, and although they can still equalise, this happens. The opponents take advantage of the chaos after a free kick. The victory and the title are gone, but Mabu is sticking by what he has been teaching the children and young people on the streets. fair play.
It's not really easy to lose, but I'm the one guy who goes to the players and say, guys, hard luck, let's try it again next time. And then I go to the winning team, which will be our opponents, and congratulate them, trying to create the spirit of saying we're playing soccer, we're not fighting. So our aim is for the players to also understand that we are not fighting. It's not a war where we're killing other people, where we're hacking and breaking necks. We are just playing. We are friends at the end of the game and even throughout the match.
Yeah.